What's going on, guys? It's Tanuki Teddy here. I got my co-host Holden today.
That's me.
And since we last recorded our ranking of the Star Wars films, 2 more films have been added to the franchise. Whoo!
Wow.
Whoo! Yeah, and they're actually both pretty good films in our opinion. We both like them, just varying amounts of liking for both. So
Yeah.
I thought we'd come back and re-rank the movies since, there's 2 more, so that gives us 10 total canon movies that we would say. I think the Clone Wars movies canon or whatever.
We're not counting that.
Yeah, we're just going with the 10 main live-action films. Okay. Gotta get the shitstorm out of the way first. Sorry. We're gonna say number 10 is...
Phantom Menace.
We're not even gonna talk about these that much. This is all we have to say about the Phantom Menace. Jar Jar Binks.
The greatest asset to that movie. He was the only one who could pull it together. He said sarcastically. No, really, Jar Jar was a horrid idea that George Lucas decided to make.
Jar Jar Binks is like the epitome of Star Wars. He completely ruined the movie. There's only 2 scenes in the whole movie that I maybe like a little bit. The Darth Maul fight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Right? I wish they would have developed Darth Maul more as a character. And the pod race was kind of cool, but like...
Now this is pod racing.
Oh my god. So, I don't know. There's only 2 scenes that I really like in that movie. Anyway, we're going to move on to number 9. Attack of the Clones is the second worst film because it is Attack of the Green Screen. It really is. Episode 1 and 2 are just so much CGI. The whole prequel trilogy is. And I think they, overdid it. And lines like, I hate sand. It's rough. It's coarse. And it gets everywhere.
It's what really brings the movie together, Just lines like that. I think George Lucas really understands how to make a love story. And he perfectly crafted it into this movie with Padme, Anakin was telling her how he murdered younglings, which he will do again later. I don't know. I think it was really smart for George to do that. He was really thinking it through, and Padme just couldn't resist being with a man who slaughtered Tusken Raiders like that. And I don't know.
They killed my mom.
Yeah.
Who I haven't seen in years. Anyway, it's just bad writing. I don't know what else to say. Some people don't like Hayden Christensen, but I just think it's bad script. Essentially.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault.
So number 8, it's the most recently released Star Wars movie, and it's the movie Solo. That's the one we chose for third to last. Now, don't get me wrong, Solo is not a bad movie. Everything from 8 and up are movies we like. It's just... Solo, it has good moments.
Yeah.
It tells us a lot about Han Solo, stuff we've always wanted to know, right?
Yeah.
But it just wasn't executed the way I was hoping it would be. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Another problem was, they went through so many directors, they had to rewrite so many scenes. You just never know what it could have been.
Yeah, they could have done more,
They maybe could have done more. You don't really know because they changed directors so many times and they changed so many scenes, and yeah, it didn't feel like the story we really deserved.
Yeah, and I think it was cool, learning how, Lando and Han met and developed their relationship together, and learning about Han as a younger character to get to where he was in A New Hope. But I just think they could have done better with the film. It was definitely missing that one scene in a Star Wars movie where you're like, damn, that was awesome. That was a great fight, or that, something like that. I was looking for something like that with Han.
Yeah, we just didn't get that epic fight scene.
No. But we're going to move on now to number 7.
Number 7 on our list.
The Force Awakens. Ooh. Now, The Force Awakens is a good movie, but let's be real, it's a lot like A New Hope. I mean,
yeah.
it really is.
It was a cut, paste.
Yeah, very similar. Not exactly
No,
identical. When people go on rants about, oh, I don't like it because, oh, it's just A New Hope completely. I'm like, it's not completely.
No.
There's different, there's different things about it. I definitely see, like, the parallels there, though.
Yeah. Well, of course, there's always
Yeah.
going to be some sort of parallels to the others.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have 9 other movies on this list. Of course, The Force Awakens is going to be similar to someone in some ways.
Yeah. But I like The Force Awakens a lot because I like Rey. I like Kylo Ren because Kylo Ren, to me, reminds me a lot of Anakin Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
But he's, like, more conflicted in a sense,
He's
you know?
more conflicted and has these just giant anger issues
I
and
know.
outbursts.
I love it, and I think they're good characters. I like how, we want to know more about them, and this movie really wants you to see the next one, you just want, you kind of feed off it, and there was great special effects and a great fight at the end with Rey and Kylo Ren, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we should move on, though, to 6, and 6...
Which is Rogue One.
Ooh. And what do you like about Rogue One?
I think it is aesthetically beautiful.
Yeah.
It is just gorgeous. The planets they use, which
I
we've
agree.
never really seen before.
Yeah.
The cinematography, it's just so beautiful to watch. Just the landscape, how they designed it. It's really just attractive. And even the story, it's, for just being a side story that leads in to the actual main story, it's amazing how they managed to piece that together. I couldn't do that at all. They manage it in such a unique and cool way.
I agree.
That it wasn't just a filler type story of, they managed to get it into episode 4. No, they had a backstory and everything, and it was definitely executed well.
I agree, and the way they made it so, with the plans of the Death Star, and, how it all came to be, and how it transitions just perfectly into episode 4, A New Hope. It's just beautifully done, well executed, good characters, but, like, I hate how everyone had to die. I thought it was a bit ridiculous at the end, how it all ended up like, oh, we have these space crafts, we can get off this planet, but let's just sit here and die. I didn't like the ending, but overall, I thought it was great. And that Vader scene is what takes the cake. That's why I was upset with Solo, is because they didn't have a scene. I'm not expecting like a Vader scene in the movie Solo, but the Vader scene from Rogue One was beautiful. It was so epic, and we got to see Darth Vader, kind of at his peak evilness, and just destroying, the rebels. It's just amazing, and that's part of what makes it better than The Force Awakens to me,
Definitely.
So we're gonna move on to number 5, and this is controversial. This movie, extremely controversial.
Yes. Probably
Probably the most controversial movie in Star Wars, and it is The Last Jedi. And the funny thing about The Last Jedi, our country, the United States, right now, is divided a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie divided Star Wars fans a lot, like, all over. Some people absolutely love it. Like, we liked it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But some people absolutely despise it. And we have friends of ours that just can't stand this movie. But what do you love the most about The Last Jedi?
It's not entirely your run-in-the-mill Star Wars, bad guys just be good guy. It had areas where you just didn't see what was coming next. Like, usually, I'm not trying to brag, but I can usually see when something's going to happen in a movie.
Yeah, it's kind of predictable.
Yeah. But this movie, in some of the scenes, I was just like, wow, that was beautifully crafted. I didn't see that coming.
And
wow, what a turn of events.
We went to the premiere together of this movie.
Yeah.
And I forget what date it was. December 14th, or I don't even remember for sure. But we went to the premiere, the first showing, and so we had no expectations.
Yeah.
We were hoping it was going to be good. And, like, there are points in it, this movie, like, when Snoke dies, for example. Like, I absolutely drop my jaw in shock.
I lost my shit.
Or, like, just off the bat, Luke Skywalker right away, like, throwing the lightsaber over his back. Like, I don't want anything to do with this. And some people hate it because they say, God, they destroyed Luke's character, but some of the things Luke does in this movie are the most Jedi things you could ever do. Yeah. And I know he was kind of a hermit and a recluse, but people make mistakes, and he made a mistake that he just wasn't willing to live with. So he had confliction himself, and to me it shows a growth in the character of Luke at the end. Definitely. Though. I don't know. There's so much we could talk about with that movie, but I liked it a lot. I think it'll be interesting to see where they go with 9, because there's a lot of questions we still have answers that we want for. Mm-hmm. So, number 4 is...
Number 4 is Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, do it. Do it now.
Oh, yeah. Just, when you think of Star Wars, you think of, epic space battles, and this... Star Wars really fits that description.
I agree.
Constant battles, the best battles throughout the entirety of the Star Wars saga, in my opinion, right next to Last Jedi's throne room battle. But they just so many epic scenes, so many just crazy battles. This is literally Star Wars.
Yes, it is.
It's just right down into it, and it's no longer just a bunch of politics. I mean, it still is, but it's not as much as the other prequels. Really gets to you, hits the feelings. It's more than just a bunch of memes. It's really good.
And the thing, I know when we nitpick movies, the Star Wars movies especially, epic fights are a big part of it, and to have maybe the best fight ever between Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi that we've ever seen. We also see Yoda take on Sidious, and, that's just amazing. I can't believe they actually went through with that and made that happen. And learning about, Anakin's turn, to the dark side, and it's really in-depth, and it's really good. I don't know, what else do you have to say about it?
I don't know, I think I threw it all out there, just how it just really to the T describes Star Wars.
I agree. And I think, like I said earlier, Hayden Christensen gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
But I thought he did a great job in this one. This is the best prequel, and to me it's number 4 on the list.
Yeah, it's definitely a keeper.
So, number 3, we have, actually, right here. You might not be able to see it, but A New Hope. Star Wars A New Hope, Episode 4. It's where it all began, essentially, Mm-hmm. I think it's really an important movie because you don't have Star Wars without it, of course. Yeah. It's a great movie. What do you love about it? I mean...
It's just... For having this as kind of like a solo movie, I don't think George Lucas thought about going on with it. How in depth it was for story-wise. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, he was thinking this stuff out. I mean, Obi-Wan talks about the Clone Wars, and
it's amazing.
It's just a so in-depth story for what was supposed to be just one movie at the time,
and he left so many openings for things to happen, and they never planned on sequels and stuff. But he had all this lore thought out, and it's just a whole universe that's incredible. And we meet all the characters we know and love in this movie, and it's just incredible. Episode 4 is number 3 on the list, and number 2 we went with
Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And it was kind of a debate on the top 3, because honestly, the top 3, it's hard to rank anything above the original trilogy, because they're just masterpieces. And Return of the Jedi has so many great scenes and battles and character development, and one of my personal favorite things about the movie is how it even just kicks off with Luke going to save all his friends and save Han and Leia and everyone from Jabba the Hutt. And God, it was done so well, and all the, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, just beautifully crafted, and no one can forget that scene where everyone's just staring
Yeah,
at
and
each
they're
other.
like,
Just
they're like, look at each other.
None. Just lining up with the music.
It's great. And then, Luke, being persistent that he's gonna change his father's heart. And
Yeah.
that's just what's amazing. The way it ends, everything.
It was a perfect way to really end a trilogy. It was.
Yeah, it was.
It was just wrapped nicely in a bow.
I agree.
It was a beautifully crafted story. So.
And number one is the only one left. So you take a guess. It would be the one and only Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
And most fans consider this to be the best Star Wars film. And to me it is. It builds upon what, George Lucas had with Episode 4, or A New Hope, and we add great new characters like Yoda. We keep developing things, and then that jaw-dropping moment where, probably the most famous movie line ever, right? I am your father.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who was expecting that? Like, if I wouldn't have heard the line a gazillion times, I would have just been shocked, What do you love so much about it?
I love that it's an off the beaten path kind of story. It's kind of just a random time when the rebels are rebelling, obviously, and the Empire is attacking. It's just kind of this own story, yet it has its time in the main story itself of Darth Vader and Luke getting his Jedi training, and I just like seeing that there are other rebels out there, there is another story happening out there, yet it still intertwines with what's really important and going on.
Absolutely.
It's amazing that we can see what else is happening out there in the galaxy.
I know.
Because there are a lot of just random stories that at any point they could choose from, and, it was cool to see this other side of it.
I agree. And then being left with that huge cliffhanger at the end, what's gonna happen next, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what makes Star Wars as beautiful and captivating as it is. It's just such a captivating story, and Empire Strikes Back is cream of the crop.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, that's our ranking of the 10 Star Wars movies. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Give us a thumbs up if you did, and leave a comment with your list, because I love hearing what people have to say, because some people, they think Phantom Menace is amazing.
All right.
Cue cricket noises here. Anyway, but you just let us know on what you actually think, and if you do think, for example, The Force Awakens is the best Star Wars movie, tell us why, or
definitely.
Whatever, give an explanation. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Tanuki Teddy and Holden, and we will see you guys later. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.
Thank you.